Alright, it's been a few days since I last worked on the XJ. Last time, I put this piece of frame in, right there. So after I did that, I noticed that where I have my jack stand was sitting right about here. This piece of the frame, I don't know if you can see it there or not, but it's kind of bent in, just from sitting on the jack stand at that point. So, I started looking into that a little bit more, and you can see there's a couple rust holes right there, where the two pieces of the frame come together, because the XJ is like a multi-piece frame, so this piece goes inside this. So it's rusted right there, a couple holes there. And on the back side, it's even worse. There's a pretty big hole there. That on the bottom, that's normally there. That's like a drain hole or something, so that's not rusted out. But this right here, that's obviously rusted, and that's pretty thin there. So I need to cut some pieces out and fix that. So that's what I'm gonna do. Oh, I don't know if I showed you this or not. So I filled in where the frame, my replacement frame wasn't quite as thick, so I figured out I put a piece of angle right here, plug welded that into the frame of the XJ, welded along the edges, and then also welded right along the seam. There's still a little hole there, and I still got to fill in this backside. I didn't get to that yet, because when I was looking at that, that's when I noticed that part of the frame. So I'm going to work on getting this these rust holes patched and see where we're at. You also see probably back there, got some more rust holes I got to patch. So that's what I'm going to do. All right, so I got that piece of frame cut out, and I got the metal all cleaned up. So contrary to what it might seem like, there is actually some metal underneath all the rust. So here's my plan for this. I'm going to build a piece right about like that. That's going to fit right in there. I need to make it a little bigger than my cardboard here, but you get the general idea. That'll go in there like that. I'm trying to follow this same slant on the frame here, because the frame stiffeners that I'm putting over it have that same contour, so I need to follow that so that they'll fit on over it. But that right about there is about how that's going to go in there. So now I just have to take and transfer this cardboard into some metal pieces. Alright, so I got a new piece of frame built. There's the old one, and there's the new one next to it. This one's a little fatter because this was actually smashed out a little bit, but anyway, I even put the little hole in there about the same place. Not as big, but I don't think it needs to be. That's just a drain hole. This one, I'm not sure what that was for. There's a nut welded onto the back, but there's nothing was screwed into it as far as I know. It was all full of dirt and everything, so I just didn't bother with that one. If I need it again, I figure I'll just I don't know, either drill and tap that or figure something out, because there's going to be another piece on top of that too, so it should be thick enough that I should be able to just, you know, I don't know, either tap it or cut a hole and put a nut in. But anyway, there's the piece. Got it all welded up. I welded a little on the back for extra strength, just to be sure. So let me show you how this fits in now. Alright, so here's the piece I cut out, and here's right where this goes in. Fits right up in there. Nice and flush in there. There we go, just like that. Fits right up in there. So now I just need to weld that piece in. And yeah, so I'm going to do that. All right, I got that piece all welded in. Check this out. There it is. I think it came out all right. It's not perfect, but it's solid and a lot more solid than it used to be. So will it hold? Hope so. I'll find out. Alright, I got a bunch more of the frame pieces welded in. Let me show you what I got. So around the back here, I got this reinforcement plate here on. Everything right now is super ugly. I gotta grind it down. It's not real easy to weld to this old metal. So it looks like crap, but it'll hold. Anyway, that's there. I gotta grind all that down. I'll show you again once it's a little nicer. And then the last bit of frame I need to do on this side, until I find more rust holes, is right here. There's holes on the inside of the frame right there. So I'm probably going to cut that out, cut out that little piece there too, and make another piece just to go in there. Cut my exhaust because it was pretty badly, the bolts were so rusted off they weren't even bolts anymore, so had to get that out of the way so I could get to that. I'll figure out how to put that back on later. Alright, I've made some progress on the XJ, patching up the frame, patching up the holes, putting the pieces of frame back in, so let me show you what I got. Alright, this whole piece has been added in. That was where it was completely missing, so that is in there now. You can see there's the old frame, and then this part, and then this is the old frame as well, so on and so forth, but I've scraped off all the undercoating and dirt. There was a piece right here where when I had the jack stand under here originally, it was rusted, and it was rusted right at this seam and then on the other side. And let me show you around back, or rather the inside of the frame. So this is the inside, same thing. There's that piece on the back that I had to replace. This right here is where I cut this chunk out, and there's a piece that's replacing that. And then right here is the latest thing I did. There was a bunch of big rust holes right there, and so that has been replaced with a new piece as well. So that's good and solid. It's not the prettiest, but I think it'll be plenty strong, considering this original frame is only about that thick. It's less than an 1/8 inch thick. I don't know what gauge steel that is, but it's some kind of sheet metal, so it wasn't very strong in the first place. This is 1/8 inch. That was 1/8 inch. This is actually 3/16 because they didn't have 1/8 inch, so should be plenty strong. All right, so that pretty much takes care of the frame repairs that I know of. I may find more as I get into it. I know there's probably going to be some at the back there that I'm going to have to reinforce. The piece that goes across the back is kind of got some rust in it too, but we'll get to that when we get to working on the rear shackles. I need to mount up the front shackle mount on there. I need to put that on as well. But as far as the frame goes, those are all the holes that I knew of. So I think I added on onto my list here. I added frame stiffeners on because those still have to go on. But I think that at this point I am done with the frame repair. So we can cross that off. And so next up, got to do the frame stiffeners like I said, and then the front floor pans. I'm also going to add on here the spring shackles, because I need to put those on. So as I cross one thing off the list, I add another, and well, still got a lot to go. But that's going to be it for tonight.